Good morning, Jen Glidden here, and I am happy to bring you Blogging for Business Bootcamp Session 9. We're going into keyword research today, and I'm not going to overload you with stuff. I'm going to give you some simple steps that you can follow to figure out, when I make this blog post, if you're looking for long-term traffic using our on-page SEO and off-page SEO techniques that I taught you a couple sessions ago, then essentially you're going to be able to use this training to pick keywords that are going to work best for getting traffic. So just to give you an idea, if you're a local business, then you're pretty much competing in your local market. So you don't need to worry about getting onto the first page of Google for a general term. You're probably going to be looking, especially initially, for local business, local customers, right? That's what you're looking for. So this is really going to help you get an idea of what keywords to use when you're writing an article or making a video, because that's going to help you focus your efforts. And I'll show you as we get into it exactly why it makes a difference. This was really helpful for somebody that I helped set up their business, and it helped them to get traffic right away rather than wasting their time on keywords that wouldn't necessarily get any searches. So you want to get an idea of who's searching for what on the grand scale usually. Unless you're in a really big market, then you might have search terms on your own. But let's get into it. So I'm going to share my screen here. All right. Okay. So the first thing you're going to do is go to Google, and you're going to type in keyword tool. Keyword tool, it pops up right the first thing. Okay, so this is the keyword tool, and essentially it's pretty straightforward, but we're going to use, word or phrase right here. We won't worry about website or category. And then on this left side, I want you to choose exact instead of broad, okay? So let's say, for example, the person I was helping was a counselor, and so they were trying to figure out what keywords would people in her local market be looking for. Okay, so what you can do is toss out a few things like marriage counseling and relationship counseling and addiction. Now there are other words for counselors, right? So let's just say we wanted to figure out in terms of whether we should use the word counselor or therapist or shrink, what we should use in relation to what people are searching for around marriage and relationships, okay? So we throw out a few words, and then we'll marriage therapist. And what we're going to get is an idea of what people are actually looking for. So if you're in the US, if you're in a different country, choose a different country. And for the most part, we're going to leave those just as they are right now. And then type in this. Okay. All right. So what it's going to do is it's going to come back. Now this is for all of the US, okay? And all of the US is actually in the local monthly. Global is for the whole world. So most of the people searching for marriage counseling are actually in the US. Isn't that interesting? Relationship counseling. So this sorts it. You can see if you click on it, it'll sort it from top to bottom. So marriage counseling is the most searched term. Okay, so if I was targeting my local market, then I would say Charlotte marriage counseling or marriage counseling Charlotte. All right. Now these keywords are small enough you might even be able to just get attention to them across the whole country because they're pretty small. So right here, this gives you an idea. People are not really looking for relationship counselor or relationship therapist. They're looking for relationship counseling, marriage counselor, and marriage counseling. That's the by far 10 times most popular term. So, and then what Google does is they give you other ideas of what might be popular here, okay? So hold on a moment. I'm going to mute and come back, and I apologize for this interruption. Okay, we are back. So back to keyword research. Here we have an idea of all the other types of things that people are looking for, right? So these are good ideas for other keywords that you could target. There's also family therapy. That's even more popular than marriage counselor or relationship counseling. So all these things are going to give you an idea of what's looked for. Now, lots of good ideas in there, right? This category here, competition that you see, this is actually competition for AdWords. That's competition for advertising. So that's going to give you an idea of what it's going, how much competition is there for those keywords. So you're going to be paying more money, okay? Now watch this. What we're going to do, let's see, marriage counseling, marriage counselor, and relationship counseling were the top ones. So let's just type in Charlotte. Now this makes it a local term, right? So let's see what happens when we add that local aspect to it, okay? We'll just take those off. We're going to see. Okay. So they say that marriage counseling Charlotte has about 28 searches. Now the related searches down here didn't come in except marriage counseling Charlotte, North Carolina. Isn't that interesting? So here, just marriage counseling Charlotte has 28 exact local monthly searches, but Charlotte NC has 210. Now this is a great keyword to go for if you are in Charlotte, North Carolina. Now another idea that you can use is if you have local smaller towns around, you can do that. You can target those smaller towns, like we have Huntersville or Concord or Harrisburg or Waxhaw, depending on what part of Charlotte you're in, you may want to target some of those surrounding smaller towns. Here's another idea. Instead of just the town or the city, you can put in the zip codes that you're serving. So where most of your customers are coming from, zip code wise. This is especially helpful for restaurants and salons, like hair salons or nail salons, things like that. So again, you want to get an idea of across the country, what are the terms people are using to search for, because that's going to give you a better idea of kind of what people are thinking. And then from there you can type in, see what your local area is looking like, and in this case it was definitely a big difference to go from marriage counseling Charlotte to marriage counseling Charlotte NC. Now if you want to get a sense of what you're competing against, how easy it's going to be to rank for those things. Okay, we'll go to Google again and we'll type in marriage counseling Charlotte NC. Look at that. They give you ideas. Marriage counseling, Charlotte NC, university area, free, Christian. So all those are things that people are searching for. Okay. Now these are the results that we have. Okay. The places that are in Google Maps are going to show up special. And then you'll see here, that's what that means. The ones that have the little pins, they're ones who have registered with Google, registered their companies with Google so that they are showing up, they kind of get precedence in search results just because they've registered with Google. That's an easy thing you can do. If you Facebook me, I can tell you how to do that. It's really pretty straightforward. So you'll see essentially what you're competing with here. So some of them, Psychology Today is ranking up there, Good Therapy. Now, if you aren't in those things that are ranking first, then it's probably worth getting into those things, right? If they're just general directories, especially if they're free to join, then it can be really helpful because they're the ones who are right now ranking for those first few spots in Google. But I'll tell you that there is a strategy you can use where it's pretty easy for you to get to Google. There are only 117,000 results for this, so it would, and that's the general term. If you put quotes around it, then you get an idea. There are only 34,000 exact results for this, so it would be really easy for you to rank at the top, marriage counseling, Charlotte, North Carolina. I'll do a training on that later on. But I have multiple websites that are still ranked #1 on Google for the search terms I was targeting. And they've been there for years now. So getting to the top of local search can be pretty straightforward depending on what you're up against. But this training is just meant to give you an idea of how to do your keyword research, especially for a local business. If you're doing it for just a general term, let's say we took the Charlotte back off and we're just looking at those general marriage counseling terms, right? Because you wanted to rank for that. Maybe you were doing online counseling, you wanted to get leads from all over the country. Then again, you just type them in, see what else comes up, and in another, so before I go on to that, you'll see these ones, sure, they get lots of searches every month, right? Lots and lots of searches every month. Well, it's probably better to start out competing for some of these lowerly searched terms because the big boys aren't competing for them, okay? The big boys aren't going for these ones that have 2,000 or less, maybe 1,000 or less. On the other hand, you want to have at least 200 to 300 exact searches a month for it to be worthwhile going after that keyword. So kind of in the 300 to 2,000 range is a good range for you to shoot for in terms of what the words get on the monthly search volume. So don't start out competing for something with 74,000 searches a month. That's just going to get you frustrated and you won't get anywhere on the search engines. But if you start for one of these that's smaller, then you're going to be able to rank a lot easier. And I just showed you kind of one thing that I do. I'll give this to you. So when you put it in quotes, there's a way to see how much competition you're going to be up against. When you put it in quotes, you're going to see how many results you have. And then, so that's 34,000. Anything under like 100,000 is pretty achievable when coupled with this other test, which is all in title. So that shows you how much competition you have, because the search engines look at what's in the title, and between what's in the title and then the exact search term when you put it in quotes, that gives you a good idea of what competition you're going to have. And if it's under 10,000 for all in title, and you have, I think, less than 100,000 for your results in the quotes, then you should be able to rank for that pretty easily, especially if you're using video. So that is a little secret nugget for you today, but I just wanted to share that with you, and I hope that it's a helpful lesson so that you can go ahead, get out there, and really share what you want to share from your business to your customers so that they can benefit, you get the visibility, and again, blogging can be pretty low cost, and it can drive a lot of traffic. So blogging really creates that long-term relationship with your customer, and I've just shown you how to get the right people looking at your content, so you know when you're putting up that blog post that people are searching for what you're putting up, right? That's what you want to know. Besides our syndication strategies for getting traffic today, which is really helpful, you want to get the traffic long term too, using the on-page and the off-page SEO, and for that you're definitely going to want to have the keywords picked, so that they're going to be the right ones for getting your target audience. So with that, feel free to connect with me on Facebook and let me know what questions you have. I'm happy to help you in any way that I can. I love helping other business people get to the top of Google and get their businesses growing. So connect with me on Facebook, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.